how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Crimsonpanda here, and we are back with another mercenary patch note video. So this is patch 24.4, the big mercenary drop patch note. So I hope some of you guys have managed to catch all of the reveals that happened yesterday. They were really good. The community did a fantastic job. Grumpy, the guys over at the fighting bit, and also on the Discord server as well. Very well done to everybody that did all of those reveals. I think everything went really well, so hopefully more for the future for us on the mercenary side of it. And if any of you didn't catch it, then this is kind of what this video is going to be about. We're going to be going through all of the patch notes to do with mercenaries, which come out later on today. And yeah, we'll just take a look at all 14 mercenaries, have a little read of what their abilities and equipments are, their stats and their tribes, and we'll see if there's any bug fixes, and also if there's the new bounties that we're promised as well. So I will be streaming later on this afternoon when this patch note goes live. I think, what is it, 9 now, so it's in about 9 hours time, just under 9 hours it's going to go live. So catch me over at Twitch to see me opening some packs, and also hopefully getting all of the new mercenaries and farming those coins. So with that being said, let's head over and check out these patch notes. So mercenary updates. Oh, I have had a little quick scan through these yesterday. The reason the video is coming out today is because last night was a bit too late for me to be able to do a video. It was like 11 p.m. and obviously I had the school run early hours in the morning, so that's why the video is coming out today. So we have mercenary updates, general updates. Cthulhu is now earned through normal methods, so packs, and new keyword charged characters will charge immediately attack chosen targets when summoned. This is the big thing about charge. It's the chosen targets when summoned. So rush here, where it attacks a random character, charge lets you choose, so that is huge. There is updates to mercenaries. We'll quickly scroll down past all of these a minute just to read that bit. So here we have merc updates. So we have N'Zoth. So the spawn of N'Zoth was a rush immune while attacking, is now charged, so you can actually choose where your spawn's going to go. So once you tap that button to summon your spawn, I imagine it's then going to get you to choose a minion over the other side to attack, which is good and bad in my opinion. So the reason it's good is you get to choose something if you know it's only got 15 health left, for example, and the spawn's going to kill it. Fantastic. But if you're going up against the monkey and you kind of want the random hit, say the monkey spawns and you want to hit the monkey, then sometimes the rush will help with hitting the monkey randomly. So good and bad, but obviously a lot more positives there with the charge choosing something over than just killing a monkey, which is the only one that can come to the top of my head. So we got the Sea Witch, we've got her minion is now going to have charge as well, goes from rush to charge. Same with Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a huge one, having this spawn have charge as well is going to be great instead of it just rushing into random. And also the tentacle here is going to have charge, but obviously it loses charge with the equipment. Warmaster Voon, his divine shield rush now has charge, so 20 attack or 25 attack depending on what equipment you're using. You're going to get to choose where that goes, plus it's got the wind fury as well, so you're going to be able to do 50 damage with this ability and choose where it goes, so no more randomness. So brilliant. Devil Charge as well is now going, Devil Saw, sorry, is now going to charge, and Old Merc Eyes Giant Fin is now going to charge as well. We have some new zones and bounties. So we're getting the Dark Moon Fair by the looks of it. Welcome to the Dark Moon Troop. To Mercenaries, a brand new zone spanning 11 new bounties. We're also adding 5 new bounties to the Fellwood zone and 3 more bounties to the Black Rock Mountain. So Fellwood and Black Rock there, the kind of lower tier stuff for the relatively newer player. Obviously these bounties are going to come in at level 30 just like the other ones. I imagine the Dark Moon Fair will start at 30 as well. We'll have to wait and see when that goes live, but a lot of new bounties to sort of work through, and obviously these are going to get you some coins for all of those new mercenaries. And talking about new mercenaries, let's check them out. So let's start from the top here. Okay, so first up we have Murloc Holmes. He is a legendary protector. Murloc, max stats 1387, and his abilities are as followed. So we have Hot on the Case, Fire, Speed 9, gain 5 attack and attack an enemy. It takes critical damage after it acts next turn. So it takes crit damage, so you kind of want to target this and do something. Obviously this is going to be very slow, so you want to go into something that's going to be quick next turn so that they crit before your abilities go off. So that's kind of the way you want to be using that one. Elementary, so we have a nature, speed 3, so we got different types here. We have fire and nature, so it's a double merc, can be fitted into a couple of different type of comps. Not only do we get the Murloc tag as well, so it's obviously going to go into a Murloc comp as well. We'll have to wait and see what comps people come up with. So we have nature speed 3, cooldown 1, give a friendly character divine shield. If they lose it this turn, they gain +5, +10 and attack an enemy opposite them. So a bit of a maestro thing in there as well, which we've seen really good. So if there's only 2 units on their side and 3 on yours, this is in the middle, this is going to cleave those enemies. So very good being able to get a double hit with this ability at speed 3 as well, so that's going to be really fast. And you can give a character divine shield, so it's not even like this has to hit it. It can be once the divine shield is lost, then it attacks the enemy opposite them. So you can give it to this, they attack into this then does the cleave. So very good for like protecting something, especially if you've buffed something up and you've given that divine shield. It gets an extra attack, which is really cool. Next up we have And the Killer Is. So And the Killer Is speed 4, cooldown 1, deal 16 damage to an enemy and make a prediction for a bonus. So these are the predictions here. So we have first on arrival, deal 16 damage to an enemy. If it acted first this turn, deal 16 more, and they act last next turn. So the good thing about this is that And the Killer Is speed 4, sorry. So first on arrival, speed 4, you can almost guarantee this doing the extra damage and making them go last, because you're going to target a minion that you are either familiar with and you know the speed, or if you have the deck tracker, it's going to help as well. And if they're going to go quicker than speed 4, you know that this is going to definitely do that extra damage and make them go last next turn. So very good. And then we have last on the scene, deal 16 damage to an enemy. If it acts last in combat, deal 10 damage to all enemies. So once again, you can kind of manipulate that as well. You kind of know what's going to be going last from the comp. Obviously they can choose a different ability to try and obviously switch up the obvious, but this is going to obviously play with those mind games that we're going to be hopefully going a lot deeper into in Mercenaries. So very good prediction there. And then obviously the Murder, which is deal 16 damage to an enemy. After it destroys 2 mercs, it takes 80 damage. Now this one I'm a little bit curious about. So you deal 16 damage to an enemy, unless you know they're going to kill them both, and then it takes 18 damage. Does Murloc Holmes have to be alive for the 80 damage to still go off? I'm kind of hoping not. I'm hoping this is going to be like a little stack thing. You give it to them, and then when they kill 2 mercs straight away, that's when they're going to take 80 damage. So it'd be interesting to play test that one later on today. Well, probably not later on today because we got some farming to do, but when we have them PvP ready, or we can actually try that in PvE. And then the equipments, we have Trusty Sidekick, Battlecry, summon a 1230 Watfin Beast. So that is officially the only beast in the set, the summon, who attacks enemies who damages your Murloc Holmes. So 1230 isn't great. The health is fantastic. I mean, for a minion, the stats are amazing. But if this is going to attack 3 times into Mercenaries, it's going to probably die unless they have some sort of support from Cho or other buff units. This is a battle cry, so you could get some buffs off before Murloc Holmes takes damage potentially. So interesting that equipment is. Paid up front, battle cry, gain +4/+4, and this Murloc's ability refreshed by 1. So that allows you to use any of these abilities at all. So that's going to be very interesting to see. +4/+4 is obviously good. We've seen it with Kasakus but this is just for himself. And then suspect everyone passive. After an enemy casts a 4, 5 or 6 speed ability, deal 8 damage to them. So not very much damage, but we've seen it with N'Zoth. I don't know if this is going to be able to scale with some sort of spell damage buff. Obviously Arcane does scale with vol'jin and N'Zoth because it's an arcane merc. So this is obviously going to be, well, it's got fire and nature on the abilities, so I don't know if this is going to have a spell school, so this might just be 8 damage all the time. But that's it for Murloc Holmes. Next up we have Ysera. So Ysera is a legendary fighter dragon, 884 max stats, and the abilities are Varden's Breath. And we've got nature, speed 5, deal 12 damage to an enemy, restore that much to another friendly dragon. So quite simple there. The best thing about that, I believe, is the nature tag. So being able to speed that up to heal another friendly dragon. Having too many dragons that heal, like Sinestra and this, the two fighters, that could be interesting to see. Maybe this is maybe a potentially unkillable merc again, because it deals 12 damage to an enemy and then restores that much to a friendly dragon. So you can obviously scale this with nature damage, which is going to heal a dragon for a lot more than the 12 initially. And then we have Emerald Dream. We knew this was coming with Ysera. So Emerald Dream, speed 5, cooldown 1, choose a dream card to cast. So I imagine these are broken. So we have Emerald Drake, Dragon, 25-20 rush. Okay, so that's weird now because they've just got rid of all the rush. So I'm surprised to see that that's not charged, but okay. 25-20 Emerald Drake at 5 speed. We've seen that with the Voon, isn't that great, and this only has 1 attack, so I don't think that one's the best. And then we have Ysera's Awakening, deal 20 damage to all enemies and 5 damage to all friendly characters, all other friendly characters. So pretty good. 20 damage AoE at 5 speed. Maybe you can benefit from the all other friendly characters take 5 if you're running like some sort of nature arcane type dragon build with Yulong. That could work possibly. Next up, I think this is the best one here, is Nightmare. This is a shadow ability. Give a character plus 30 attack, and at the end of the turn they take 20 damage. So the taking 20 damage isn't too bad, but giving them 30 attack, you can snipe someone off at 5 speed with something that probably doesn't necessarily attack. The dragons don't really attack, but this is pretty insane amount of attack buff. I don't know if it sticks. It looks like it sticks. Give a character 30 attack at the end of the turn, they take 20 damage. So you can, yeah, this is going to stick, which is nuts. So if you can give that to something that's maybe got a bubble or something, so it doesn't take the retaliation damage from the attack and only takes the 20, that could be pretty good. And then ability number 3, we have Emerald Oracle. Speed 4, 1 cooldown, choose one. So we've either got restore 20 health to a character. Your merc's abilities are 5 speed faster this turn. Speed 4, 5 speed faster. So speed 4 is going to be the slowest thing. So you're going to go 4 and then whatever after. That's kind of insane. And it's your merc's abilities, not just the merc you heal, which is nice. Or we have restore 20 health to a friendly merc and return it to the bench. Okay, so you can actually heal there, guys. That's what I mean by character. But yeah, restore 20 health to a friendly merc and return it to the bench. So if you're trying to protect something for later on, giving it 20 health. We've seen this with Blinkfox. Not Blinkfox, sorry, with Brightwing. I don't think that one's going to see much play. There's a lot of the mercs that do the bench stuff better. So it's definitely probably going to be this one that you use for the speed manipulation. And then as for the equipments, we've got Ysera's Vengeance. Varden Breath deals 5 more damage. So that'll go to 17 straight away. Dream Infusion passive. After one of your characters dies, restore 7 health to your dragon. So this is one of your characters. So teaming this up with Kazakus Golems, with 2 dragons up, you can restore 21 health to your friendly dragons, which is a lot of health. Emerald Majesty, so we got Ysera Awaken, also restores 15 health to this merc. So Ysera's Awaken is this one, so it deals 20 damage to all enemies and 5 to all other friendlies, but it also restores this merc by 15 health. So pretty good, keeping this one alive so it can just keep going with the Emerald Dreams. And next up, we have an epic fighter, one zombie. So this one is what chat and Twitch and everybody have been talking about. This one apparently is insane. So let's have a look to see what sort of stuff he got. So we got troll, nice little troll, 389, very low attack for a fighter. So let's see why that's so low attack. So we've got soul subjunction, shadow, speed 9, deal 28 damage, deals 3 less for each time this was damaged this turn. So if they're going to go after the zombie here, then he's going to deal less damage because he's taken too much damage. So 3 less each time he's damaged. So this going up against something that shoots randomly like a Localar or a Kazakus missiles is obviously going to be, each time he gets hit he's going to take 3 less, so that's not very good for those type of minions. But other than that, taking 1 hit, this is still deal 25 damage at 9 speed for a green, 50 to a blue. That's pretty reasonable. We got irrefutable offer, so we have shadow, speed 1, so choose one of one zombie's deals, increase the cooldown by 1 ability. So these are the deals here. These are going to be insane. So we got deal of time, all abilities with initially speed of 5 or faster are 5 speeds slower next turn, and all other 5 speeds are faster. All other are 5 speed faster. So if you're running stuff that's quick, it's going to be slow, and if you're running stuff that is slow, it is going to be quick, and that's just for the next turn. So very good to see that you can get stuff that doesn't see play at the moment because it's too slow, have a little flip side to be able to make them quick. So if you're going up against so you can do this turn 1 because there's no cooldown. If you're going up against a Valera comp and they're all going to be quick next turn, then doing deal of time on turn 1 to prevent that the following turn to make your mercenaries quick and theirs slow is very good to see. It's nice to see that manipulation of speed for the whole party and your opponents as well. That's really nice to see. So we've got deal of vanity, gain 5 health, all enemy abilities this turn target this if possible. So other than, well, I imagine heals as well actually. So this is a fantastic deal. So they're all 1 speed still because of this, and this is going to be a buffed Reno Jackson. So Reno chooses 1 and gains taunt, so that attacks have to go into it, but attacks are abilities as well. So gaining 5 health and making all the abilities go into this, you're kind of wanting this to die or protect something that is a higher value. So very, very good to see that, and that's going to be very interesting in a comp as well to try and protect something. Like if you're running a monkey comp, for example, and you're running this, you can protect your release a lot better, and then in the late game use some of these new mercs with some insane AoEs to get the monkey payoff. So that's just something off the top of my head that I'm going to be trying. So now we have deal of fear. This takes no damage this turn and returns all of the mercs to the bench at the end of the turn. So this is if you want to protect this. So very good, because people aren't going to know what they're going up against. So they can put everything into this thinking, you know, it's going to do the speed thing, want to kill it so it can't, which it's going to because it's turn 1, it's speed 1, it's going to do that. So maybe they won't do that, but they're going to go all into this because they think they're going to go all into this anyway because deal of vanity. But then you can use deal of fear to prevent all of that damage coming in, this taking 0 damage, and then your other 2 mercs doing some stuff, whilst this then chucks everything back to the bench at full health other than their guys, and then you can reset. This has no cooldown, you can go again, you can try that same manipulation again. Amazing, amazing stuff. So next we have blinding contract, or binding contract, sorry. Shadow again, speed 2, cooldown 2. Okay, so we can get this to 0 with vol'jin, but not necessarily needing it with the speed. I think that's kind of where Blizzard was going. If we make them fast, they're not going to want to pair it with vol'jin. So we've got deal 12 damage to an enemy. If this merc dies this turn, deal 90 damage more. So if you can get this off of the bench in the late game, and you deal 12 to something, that's going to be 102 damage, base damage, if this dies. So if this is your last merc, this is a very good tiebreaker merc, kind of like Sylvanas with the death rattle. If it's 1v1, definitely. But yeah, this is going to be quite insane for the damage output. If you can guarantee this dying on the turn that you're using binding contract. The good thing I like about this is that it's 2 cooldown. If you can get this wounded, if you can keep this alive for 2 turns, by doing you know, deal a fear, it takes no damage, and then like they pump all of it into it, it goes down to like 10 health. Then 2 speed, deal 102 damage when it dies is going to be nice. That's either they're not going to attack it because of that, or they're going to kill it and kill themselves. So very nice flavor type merc. The equipment, so we have Arena Contender, we have Battlecry, this merc's ability is refresh 2, Death Rattle, your ability is refresh 2. So this allows you to do any of these turn 1 again, kind of like the other merc. So we have Binding Contract was 2 speed cooldown, is now going to be 0 if you're running the Battlecry. And then Death Rattle as well is going to refresh your other stuff. So if you're using stuff with cooldown as well, something that comes off the bench, then Death Rattle is going to refresh that hopefully. It might just be the mercs on the board. If it is, then their third abilities usually have a cooldown, maybe not necessarily 3 to make this playable in turn 2, but it will still give you that option to mess around with some comps to see what's going to be viable. So we have new client, resurrect one of your mercs that died this game with 24 health. So we've seen reincarnation with Karen, we've seen how powerful that is, just bringing that guy back for 1 turn with 40 health. Choosing a merc, I potentially think it resurrects one of your mercs that died this game. If you've had multiple die, I don't know if it's going to be random or if you get to choose. I imagine it'd be like the boon actually in the PvE where it's random, but still bringing something back from the dead with 24 health is pretty cool. I imagine if something died before this and then this died and it brought back the merc on the board, then that will just pop back up. But this, I imagine, can resurrect something on the bench for you to bring out again at a later time if that's where it resurrects. Spirit of the Dead 4. So we have passive, after one of your characters dies, restore 7 health to the troll. So another tribe type heal. Just saw it with the dragons. We've seen it with the shadow, with the spell schools. So this is going to be very good with Kazakus, because Kazakus is a troll. Being able to restore 21 health with those golems, like I said, is going to be nuts. And what is it? That's a 4 speed as well. So you go 4 speed, chuck 6 dudes in, you're running Sylvanas on the bench to benefit from that. This is healing, this is shadow, Sylvanas is shadow. Kind of see a comp merge in there as well. So very, very nice. Okay, next up we have Korok the Blood Rager. So legendary caster, troll again, very nice. Pair this with the zombie. So we have 1160 max stats, very low health, but that's a caster, so pretty good, and very high attack for a caster. So this is going to be another attacking caster, I believe. So staple here, look, we have a death rattle tag before anything. So destroy a random minion. This merc returns to life with their health. So this is a minion. All I can think of is a viper. You kill a viper with over 100 health. That would be amazing. Obviously, never going to kill a Viper with 100 health unless you're using some of these massive one-shot stuff, like the 90 damage plus the 12. Kill off a Viper when it's at 100 health, and then this gains their health. That'll be cool when this dies. But I guess Death Rattle, destroy random minion. That's very interesting to see, because obviously there's going to be a lot of tokens in the game still. Okay, first ability we have Mountain Anger. Speed 5, gain 5 attack this turn and attack an enemy, increased by 3 after use. Okay, so this is 5. Anything that increases by 3 after you use it, like the Jaina stuff, is surprisingly better than we thought. Obviously, it works better on Jaina because of the ice block, but this has Death Rattle to come back to life with their health, so hopefully this keeps the scale when it returns to life. We'll have to wait and see. We got Eat the Dead, gain 8 health. Gain 8 health, and then health gain increased by 8 each time a character dies, resets after use. So once again, this pairing with the Kazakus golems. If you can summon some golems in at full speed, this is then full speed. You've had 3 things die. This is now going to be 8 times 3, which is going to be 24. 8, 16, 24. Yeah, that's right. So this is going to be an extra 24 health plus the 8 initial health, so 32 health gain. This already goes from a 60 to a 92. On turn 1 at 4 speed. So if you want to keep this alive straight away and use your other stuff to do stuff, then that is a very good way of doing it. Okay, next up we have Blood Rage 5, 6 speed, cooldown 2. So That'd be very good if zombie dies and this refreshes this. We've got distribute 20 damage to random enemies, increased by this merc's missing health. Okay, so you eat the dead turn 1, you gain 32 health. You then get hit a little bit. You then do that again with the Kazakus. You then gain more health. You get hit a little bit. You then blood rage at 6 speed, distributing 20 damage plus the health you've lost. You've probably lost a good 60 health minimum. So this is going to be distributing 80 damage to random enemies at speed 6. That sounds pretty interesting. I can't wait to try that, honestly. Jesus. So we got Winter X Strong. So we got Mountain Rage increases by an additional 4. So this is going to be gain 9 attack, and then actually, yeah, is it increases by 3 after use, or is it increases by 7? I imagine it's just 4 after use. So maybe it's this. Maybe this will go to 7. Nice. We'll have to see again. There's a lot of unclear information that we're getting. On a bound, Eat the Dead only increases when a friendly character dies, but increases by an extra 12 Kazakus golems. 12. This is going to be 20 per golem. So we gain the 8, and then we gain 20 per golem, which is 3. So that's 68 health if we run this equipment. Woo! I know what I'm buffing first. Okay, the Everliving. So we got Blood Rage gains Death Blow, restore 20 health. That is nothing compared to this. I can't wait to try this Blood Rager. This is going to be a very, very fun month or couple of months for Mercenaries. Jesus Christ. And this is a legendary caster, so kind of hard to open. Hopefully you guys get this and get to try this out as well. It's looking pretty tasty, to be honest, this one. Okay, next up we have Archimonde, Epic Caster. So we have a Demon. Max stats 1086, abilities Finger of Death, Fell, nice little Fell support here, speed 4, deal 12 damage, gain plus 3 spell damage. So we already spoke about gaining the plus 3 each turn you use something. It works with Jaina, it's going to work with this. Hopefully the other demons can support it so that it's not going to be sniped and you don't get that Fell damage, but it's nice to see Fell support, and it's going to be good to be able to try some of this Fell stuff out. So Reign of Chaos, Fell, 6 speed, cooldown 1, deal 18 damage to all enemies. Your Fell abilities are 3 speed faster next turn. So after the first cooldown, you're then not dealing 18 damage, you're dealing 21, and then your Fell abilities are going to be quicker, which is going to then put Doomfire at 0 speed. This is obviously going to have 1 cooldown. Give all enemies plus 5 Fell weakness this turn. Deal 10 damage to them after they act. So that at a 0 speed is going to deal 30 damage AoE, or 15 actually. So it's going to be 15 times 3 because they're going to act 3 after the 0 speed, hopefully, if there's no speed ties. So this is going to be 15 times 3, 45 damage AoE, which is obviously going to be a lot more going against the Reds. So very nice synergies here just alone with these equipments, with these abilities, having the 1 cooldown and the increased Fell damage. So yeah, very nice caster merc. The only trouble is that these are going to be turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 abilities. So unless you can get rid of the cooldown with other stuff like the zombie again, you're going to kind of want to do Reign of Chaos before the Doomfire, just so that you get the speed increase. But if you can manipulate the speed instead of using Reign of Chaos, then I guess you can use Doomfire turn 2 and do that AoE anyway. So very nice. So we got Enriched of Argos. So we got Doomfire. Doomfire's Fell weakness is permanent, so this just stays on their merc. Hopefully they're dead, so we don't need that. We got Archimonde Gold coin. So we got after a demon dies, restore 10 health to all friendly demons. Okay, so looking at a token demon deck. So if you can get some demons killed off, then that would be awesome. And then we have the Infernal Codex. Finger of Death gains Death Blow, gain plus 4 Fell damage. So if you kill something with this one, you're getting plus 7 Fell damage, which is kind of nice, but the one out of all of them I think I'll go for would be the token one, unless obviously there wasn't a token build for it, and then I guess the equipment 3 would be best. I have to show you this. So this is what you've been hearing in the background of my videos. This little guy. He just started climbing up my leg. Say hello. So we haven't named this one yet, but maybe I can get some comments what you think we should name him. Oh, is it him? Her, sorry, her. But yeah, say, make sure you subscribe. Kittens. There you go. Okay, moving on, we have Prince Malchezaar, so a rare protector. So with this here being rare, epic, and legendaries, the rares are sometimes stronger. The last rare protector we had, which was broken, was Localar, and you know, who knows, Prince Malchezaar can be the next Localar. So don't let that, this is good for people that don't have enough packs to be able to open everything. Getting a rare is a lot easier obviously than getting a legendary, and if they're powerful then that helps out the players that are, you know, struggling with their collection. So I really like that Blizzard do that. They don't make it, the legendaries are broken all the time, they make rares broken and epics broken as well, so it's really good. Excuse me. So we have Demon. 1279 max stats, not too bad, pretty low health actually for a protector. It should have more health than that in my opinion, but the 12 attack is very nice. So we have Party Crusher, so we have speed 3, attack an enemy, if it's a protector, it takes 10 more damage this turn. So this is encouraging you to attack a protector, so you don't get the crit damage, but you do deal 10 more damage. So if they taunt up, this is very nice for like a Karen. If you're going to hit a Karen after they've done a speed boost, your speed, then this deals the extra damage. Whereas if you're going to hit a green, it's going to deal 24 anyway, so you don't really care that much about the extra damage. You got check weapons, and it is a fell speed 5, deal 18 damage to the highest attack enemy. If it's a fighter, its attack is permanently halved, rounded up. Okay, so pretty good. So it's going to be bypass taunt, it's going to attack the highest attacking enemy, maybe, or no, it's going to deal damage to the highest attack enemy, and then if it's a fighter, which 9 times out of 10 it's going to be because they have higher attacks, it's permanently halved, rounded up, which is kind of nice. Speed 5 and a fell, so you can combo out some fell stuff maybe. Pretty nice. Still the 18 damage is huge because this is going to be what, 36 damage to 36 damage to a fighter, and its attack is halved. Pretty nice at a 5 speed. All realities, so we have Shadow, so we've got some Fell and Shadow in this merc. We've got speed 3, cooldown 2, deal 25 damage to the next enemy who acts this turn. If it's a caster, it's set its remaining health to 5 instead. Wow. So a speed 3 puts someone at 5. So you're going to basically kill that with your next ability. Deal 25 damage to the enemy that next attacks, but if it's a caster, yeah. So if you know there's going to be a fast caster after you, obviously, if it's going to be too fast, this won't work, but you can do that. That's going to be very interesting to see. I reckon people are going to have to run deck trackers to be able to keep up with all of this speed type, doing extra stuff if you get an advantage over the speed or a disadvantage over the speed. So deck trackers are going to have to be up. So hopefully they can update those deck trackers for these new mercs faster than maybe last patch. So Flying Axes, passive, plus 15 health, battle cry, changing random enemy merc's role to a protector. Okay, so you can choose, oh no, you can't choose, but you get to change it into a protector, which helps for the Party Crusher, helps for if there's 2 casters maybe on the thing to protect this a little bit more. Very interesting to see that being played out. Depending on what the meta shapes out to be will be depending on when this one's being used, I reckon. Okay, so we have Parrying Blades. Battle Cry permanently reduce the enemy protector and caster's attack by 10. So we can cut. So that's permanently reduce the enemies. So that's going to be pretty nice. Trigor counter. And try and kill off a Trigor really fast by having this. Interesting. Really like that. Not so much for Localar because of obviously attack doesn't really matter. So 3 moves ahead, passive, enemy casters' abilities are 2 speeds slower. So you can actually make the casters slower, which kind of enables this if they're going to be a 4 speed because they was a 2 speed. So nice to see what kind of casters are going to be quick in the next meta to be able to use this one with Prince Malchezaar. Okay, next up we have another rare caster. We have Niru Fireblade. So it's an orc, 984 max stats, and abilities are Command Demon, Fell, Speed 5, summon a Wild Imp 5, deal 10 damage to an enemy. Your imps will target it this turn if able, and the Wild Imp is here. It is going to be a demon. It's going to be a 5/15. At the end of the turn, deal 12 damage to a random enemy, but obviously if you use it with this, it's going to target the one that you targeted, giving it a little bit more precision. Pretty cool. Nice little summon, demon summon, like we were just talking about with the other one, with the when a demon dies, gain health. Pretty awesome. Or fell damage, sorry. So we have Fell, Speed 5, cooldown 2. At the end of your turn, fill your board with Wild Imps. So if this is the last unit on your bench and you do this at speed 5, because obviously it won't have a cooldown, and they don't manage to kill the imps, and it's at the end of the turn, so they won't be able to. I wonder if at the end of your turn it fills it with imps and then they shoot, because at the end of the turn they deal 12 damage to a random enemy, so maybe it's the following turn they shoot. I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll be the same turn. That'll make that a bit better. Implosion, so 6 speed, Fell, 2 cooldown, destroy a friendly imp, deal 10 damage plus its attack and health to a random enemy 3 times. So is that the same enemy 3 times, or is that different enemies, or kill the enemy and then it goes to something else? Once again, not sure. It says a random enemy 3 times, so I imagine it'll just be like Varden, where it shoots 3 different things or the same thing twice. It's going to be completely random. So destroy the friendly imp, deal 10 damage plus the attack and health. If you can gain health with them, which I can see here in their very first Jumbo Imps equipment, that could be pretty nice. That could be like 30 damage. Destroy an imp and deal 30 damage to 3 random things. Pretty nice. Plus we have ways of buffing minions and mercs. So if we can focus on getting this imp out and getting a really big imp, protecting it with Cho, that could be pretty nasty, dealing 3 damage AoE. Destroy. You do have to destroy the imp, so it kind of destroys what you're trying to build towards. But other than that, it seems pretty cool. Maybe something fun to try. Combustion Imps. Wild Imps have Death Rattle, deal 12 fell damage to random enemies. So I love the fell damage tag there, so we can scale it with fell damage. And yeah, okay, so the imps are going to deal 12 damage no matter what. They're either going to survive and deal 12 or die and deal 12. So very nice equipment there to be able to guarantee your imps get value no matter what. And then Demon Armor passive, your demons have immune while attacking. Okay, so attacking demon buff, that's going to be pretty nice. So you can attack with something, take no damage. We've seen how good the immune while attacking is. It works perfect with Trigor. So if Trigor is still in the meta and you're running demons with this and you're attacking, they're not going to take damage from Trigor. So that I really like. So a caster that literally immediately counters Trigor. Obviously this will still take damage because it's an orc, but your demons won't. Very nice. Okay, next up we have Nemzi. So this was actually the very first merc revealed. It's a Nembri Necrophyser, so we have a Gnome Rare Caster, 970 stats, excuse me, Battle Cry, so it's got a Battle Cry straight away, there's no equipment needed. Summon a 10/25 Boggy Elemental with Taunt. Okay, 10/25 is pretty good for a summon. We've seen 15 health at max on summons, other than stuff that rushes in and has really powerful sort of hitting stuff, but the elementals especially only have 15 health, so this having 25 is huge. So the abilities here, we have Boggy Blast, Nature, Speed 7, so some nature synergies here. Deal 15 damage, summon a 10/25 Boggy with Taunt. If you already have a Boggy, give it 15 health instead. So this is a Speed 7, heal your Boggy if they don't kill your Boggy, right? So your Boggy's going to die before Speed 7. Valera can kill it. Actually, no, Valera can't kill it. That's huge. This will still have 2 health with Valera. Okay. So they're going to have to... if they have, this is insane, actually. Having 25 health is going to be forcing 2 things to attack into it before they can hit any of your other mercs. And then you summon another one at speed 7. That's actually better than I initially thought. Nice. So we got Erupting Fungus here, so Nature, Speed 4, choose a friendly character. After it survives damage this turn, it deals 18 damage to a random enemy. Wow. Wow, okay, Speed 4, choose a friendly character. After it survives damage this turn. So this is one of those things like the AoE, that it does friendly AoE. this is then going to pop off. So we've seen this with obviously with vol'jin. So this is basically choose a vol'jin after it survives damage, deal 18 damage, and it's nature. So if you scale this up, that's going to be nicey. That's going to deal a lot of damage. Scale it up. How are we scaling it up? Brucon can scale nature. What other stuff scales nature? There isn't a great deal that does scale with nature, but 18 damage to a random enemy with a blue unit every time it takes damage. No cooldown. You can spam that at speed 4, which would be speed 1 with Malfurion and heals. Seems pretty promising. Bulk Pneumatic 5, so we got speed 3 nature, give a friendly character +5, +10 and taunt. If you have a boggy, give it +5, +5. So another give a character taunt at speed 3. Kind of needs to be speed 2, but speed 3 is good with no cooldown. So this is another Uther type thing, giving something taunt. We've seen it work in the past, and then giving your boggy extra health and attack as well, which is quite nice. Okay. Speed 3, it's nature. You can combo out stuff with nature. This is actually going to go to 0 speed. You could definitely use this to stop some of those attacking comps. If someone's using like buff humans and you want to force them into something that necessarily you kind of want to die, something with death rattle maybe, that if it dies deals damage. We've seen that. So yeah, very nice. There's a lot of mercs that synergize not only with their tribes and not only with their speeds. It's like, not speeds, their tags. It's going to be stuff that can fit into anything almost soon. So we have Bogmoss. So Boggy gains adjacent characters take 7 less damage. Very nice. So if they're going to use abilities to bypass Boggy and try and kill something, Boggy's going to protect them. 7 less damage is huge. We've seen Cho doing it with 8. So imagine having this and Cho up. That could be nice. We protect the Boggy with Cho, and then the Boggy protects Cho with this. That would be cool. So Fishing Lure. So we have Boggy gains +10 attack after this is attacked. Attack a random enemy. Gain 10 health. Sorry. After this is attacked. So every time this is attacked, the Boggy's going to attack. There's not really much attack on the Boggy. You kind of don't want it to attack. I don't really like that one. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Fresh Peaches. Boggy gains at the end of turn. Give your taunt characters 10 health. Okay, so you can give stuff taunt. So if you want something to have health at the end of the turn, you can kind of like speed 3, give it taunt to give it some peaches. Okay, bit of synergy there, trying to make a taunt comp work. Okay, next up we have Garona. Garona Halforsen, rare fighter, half orc, 1084 max stats. Looks like another mixed mercenary. So we have Smoke of Knives, speed 8 shadow. So the speed 8 on a shadow doesn't seem good, but vol'jin obviously helps with that. Attack an enemy and then deal 20 damage to adjacent ones. If this isn't already a fighter, become one and deal 26 instead. So that'd be 26 damage instead of the 20 if it isn't a fighter and then it becomes one. Okay, so there's got to be a way of getting this to neutral or another type. Okay, so Shimmering Toxic. So we got Nature Speed 1, very, very fast nature ability. Gain 10 attack, take 12 less damage this turn, become a protector, and it starts off cooldown. So is that supposed to have a cooldown then? Maybe, yeah, well, of course it's going to have a cooldown because once you use it. No, actually, it starts off cooldown, so it's going to have a cooldown next turn. You can't spam that, I guess. So gain 10 attack goes to 20 attack, takes 12 less damage, becomes a protector, starts off cooldown. So you can do that on turn 1 to gain attack, and then on turn 2 do the Smoke of Knives. Unfortunately, yes, speed 8 is kind of bad. Attack an enemy dealing 20 damage, which would be 26 because he's not a fighter, it'll be a protector, but it'll become a fighter and deal extra damage. Interesting. Nice different take on that. One of the same. So cooldown 1, discover a lineage ability combo, become a caster first. When abilities discover an ability that increases includes the discovered ability speed. A lineage ability is a section of a several classic orc abilities. Okay, so it's a lineage ability is orc abilities. So you become a caster. Doesn't have a speed here, so it's just one cooldown. Oh, it's going to gain the speed of the ability you choose. That's why. Okay, so you can become a caster first if you combo this out. So you choose what you're going to get. You see the speed of it depending on if you want that. If you do and you want to try and combo it out so you can become a caster, then that is how you're going to do that. So what orc abilities are you going to want to steal? Maybe the Wind Fury one from oh no, it's not a Wind Fury one, is it? The equipment's Wind Fury, not the actual ability itself. I don't know, we're going to have to definitely try this one out, using it from other orc abilities. We obviously have some new orcs, so it's going to be interesting to see this one played. Okay, next up we have equipments. We have Shadow Step. Hate that word, reminds me of Rogue. So, end of turn, if you control another merc, gain +4, +5, and return this to the bench. Okay. So that's just at the end of the turn. If you control another merc, gain +4, +5, and return this to the bench. So this is actually just, here I am, turn 1. I am going to gain attack, become a protector maybe. No, I don't see why you'd want to do that. I guess you're going to attack at 8 speed, deal damage to adjacents, and then bail out. That's how that reads, I guess. So we've got Half Orc and Legacy, Battle Cry. If you control another Orc, gain +3, +10. Repeat for Draenei and Human. So if you control another Orc, you just gain that. That's not going to scale. You're not going to gain +6, +20 if you have 2 more Orcs. This is going to happen if you have Draenei or Human. I think we have 1 Draenei. Can't remember off the top of my head. It might be Velen. And then we have loads of humans at the moment, so this could fit into a human build, giving humans extra attack. Battlecry, if you control another orc, gain that. Well, it won't give them extra attack, give this extra attack, which you don't kind of need with the Shimmering Toxic, but at least it's there. We've got Knife of Indecency, Battlecry, gain 15 health and become neutral. Ah, there we go. Becoming neutral turn 1, so you can benefit from this turn 1, so you don't necessarily have to gain attack and do nothing. You might want to protect it, but I guess this one here going for 8 speed Shadow or 4 speed with vol'jin could be nice. Okay, next up, Khadgar, Epic Caster. Love Khadgar, he's in Battleground, so very familiar character in the Hearthstone. So we have Human, 1082 max stats. At the end of the turn, if all 3 basic abilities are upgraded, transform into Archmage Khadgar. Okay, so these are the basic abilities here then, so we'll go through these first. So we have Arcane Surge, Arcane 6 speed, deal 16 damage, upgrade Blizzard to root all enemies. Okay, so then we have Blizzard, which is Frost. So nice little, like, we have Arcane Frost and Fire. So we have Frost, speed 5. So this is like a Belinda. This is calling Belinda all over. Cooldown 1, deal 14 damage, upgrade. So this is deal 14 damage and then root all enemies if you've done this ability first. Wow. Speed 5, Frost, rooting all enemies at 5 speed. Seems nice. Reminding me of a Elise type thing. So upgrade Half Fire to grant 5 attack. Okay, so then we've got Half Fire, speed 2 fire, give your characters 12 health, plus 5 attack if you've done that one first. Upgrade Arcane Surge to become 2 speed. Okay, so now that changes things, because now you kind of want to do this one first, this third one, so that you can upgrade the Surge by 2 speed to make it 4 speed. And then you're going to want to do the Blizzard, so that you get the root. And then after you do the Blizzard, to upgrade this, you don't really necessarily want the attack, possibly. And then they're all going to be active to get this Archmage Khadgar. It's at the end of the turn if all 3 are basic upgraded. Okay, let's go through the equipments first. This is a very tasty merc. So we got Bacon. Start a game, upgrade, Half Fire, Khadgar gains 8 health. Okay, so this is already going to be upgraded. So if this is upgraded, it's going to be plus 5 attack and the 12 health. Okay, and then Bitter Chill, start a game, upgrade Blizzard, and it's refreshed by 1. So Blizzard is a turn 1 ability with root. Turn 1, speed 5, root. deal damage. Wow. Frost scales with Localar. God. Okay. And then Boon of Atish, Archmage Khadgar, gains an extra +3 fire, frost, and arcane damage. Okay, so this one is when you're guaranteeing your Archmage Khadgar to come out. So this is Archmage Khadgar, same max stats, and he is a human still, obviously. And these are his abilities, so he actually gets completely different abilities. So we've got Prismatic Bolt, speed 2, deals 16 damage, +1 fire, frost, and arcane damage, which if you're using this equipment, that's going to be +4 on all of them, which is quite nutty. This is going to fit into quite a few comps, I think. And we've got Archmage Nova, speed 5, cooldown 1, cast all of Khadgar's upgraded abilities. Whoa. Upgraded abilities, so Surge is going to just deal 16 damage, because when it's upgraded it's going to be 2 speed faster, so that's still just 16 damage. Blizzard is 14 plus root, and then half fire is 12 health plus 5 attack to all characters, so not overwhelming, but all 3 abilities in one turn, very nice. And then we've got Trunix Supremery, discover one of Khadgar's upgraded abilities. Oh, okay, yeah, because they go to this, you don't have these anymore. Not that. Because they go to these. These are the abilities, so you discover one of Khadgar's upgraded abilities, right? So this is just going to choose one of these, whereas you're going to have these 2 abilities and this, so you're not going to have the option to do these 3, other than choosing one with this. This doesn't have a speed, so I imagine it's just taking the speed from these. Yeah, of course it is. So it'll take the speed from the ability you choose to upgrade. Okay, Khadgar looking quite tasty as well. These mercs are looking really, really nice. Okay, next up we have Medivh, Legendary Protector. So we knew Medivh was coming. We have had constant reminders that Medivh is making its way to Mercenaries from just some like things from when the game first launched. So it's nice to see that he's actually coming in today. So we've got human, 1186 max stats, and the abilities are Arcane Rift, Arcane, speed 5, deal 12 damage. Your next arcane ability this turn deals crit damage. Okay, so just giving something crit. Speed 5 if you're doing a slow arcane ability. So for example, Longzin again, if Longzin's going to go for deal damage, pass it over the Celestial, then this is going to deal crit damage to the merc. Well, it may even do crit damage to both of them if it does kill that thing. That would be quite interesting to see. It's speed 5, so you can pair this with Tyrande. So your next arcane ability with Tyrande is going to be dealing crit damage. So that's 32 on a base. If you can upgrade that with some arcane damage, then that's going to be a lot of damage. Next up we have Mage Guard. So this is Arcane, speed 3, give a friendly character 15 health and taunt this turn. So speed 3, no cooldown, give something taunt again, nice. After it is attacked, it gains +3 arcane damage. So we can scale turn 1 arcane damage. Okay. So after it is attacked, so it has to be attacked. Obviously it gains taunt, so that's going to guarantee it getting attacked if your opponent has attacking mercs. Man, there's going to be so many different comps to try. YouTube is going to be blowing up with Mercenaries, I'm telling you. Next up we have Summon Raven Familiar. So speed 6, cooldown 1. Summon a Raven Familiar with spell resistance +10. Okay, so the Raven has it, the spell resistance. And the Birds of Feather ability. So this is the Raven here. We have a Beast again, 10-20 stats with spell resistance +10, which is going to obviously protect that a lot. And then the Bird of Feather is an arcane speed 6, deal 8 damage, increased by 5 when you use another arcane ability. Okay, that doesn't seem too great, but it is a summon, it is a beast, which is going to help with Longzin if you want to use it in an arcane deck. So pretty nice to see that arcane are getting some summons. Unstable Ruin. So we have Battlecry, summon a 0/10 arcane ward with counter the first ability used each turn. Does this counter your own abilities is the very first question I want to ask. Don't know. Hopefully not, because that will suck. But if this counters something, they're going to have to do two abilities before they can kill this. This is every turn. This is definitely want to be... If this doesn't stop your abilities, then this is going to be insane, because this is going to force them to to put 2 things into it, which is then going to leave them 1 thing to attack what they actually want. And you can actually protect this with Bane. So they may even have to use 3 things just to kill a 0/10 arcane ward, which is going to open your first turn up, because this is a summon. You haven't actually done anything yet. They have to go 3 into this if you're running Bane, or 2 into it, which is more than enough. Wow. Okay, we'll have to see how that works if it doesn't counter your ability. Next we have Medivh's Locket. After you summon a minion, give it +4 arcane damage. Instantly go into Kazagus. I know he's a shadow merc, but summoning minions is what he does. Or Cho. Cho is a 5-speed summon minions, gaining +4 arcane damage per summon if you're summoning 2 things, like the golems with the bubbles that aren't going to die on the first turn, especially not both of them. Getting +4 arcane damage could be massive, and this is after you summon it. This is just an equipment. You can give something taunt to protect golems. You can then do crit damage with this plus Tyrande. I'm thinking Tyrande is going to be a opener now with Medivh. Some of these mercenaries are broken as hell. And then we got Staff, which is start of game, give friendly casters +5, +10. So Cookie gives +9 to characters. This is +5, +10. Yes, it's to only casters, but the start of the game, this is going to be bench. Is this going to be a 5-1 comp? We're going to be running this and 5 casters because of the amount of health you can get. You run Cookie as well. You run Kazakus with the battle cry. You're going to be gaining a lot of stats for free. Medivh looking very good. That's why I guess he is a legendary protector. Okay, so next up we have Tess Greymane, rare protector. So if you look at the picture here, this is the Bumblebee teaser we got on this one here, see? So we got a nice little Bumblebee teaser in its test. So we got 16 attack, 92 health. This is huge. This is a big starting stats. Wow. So we have Yoink, Shadow again, speed 4, deal 15 damage, transform into a 1-time copy of an ability the target cast this turn if possible. So whatever you target, you're nicking the ability that they cast for your next turn. So you won't have the ability to use Yoink again. So Yoink will be gone. You'll be nicking the ability that they used. Next we have Moonlight Resolve, so Arcane. So Shadow and Arcane, mixing it up. Speed 3, no cooldown. Restore 25 health. Transform into a 1-time copy of the last ability. The last enemy ability that they cast this turn if possible. So the very last ability they use, Fan of Knives from Valeera, you can turn into that. It's obviously going to gain all of their speed and all of their stuff. It's literally nicking their ability. But restoring 25 health at 3 speed is pretty big. Not as big as, obviously, Bane, but 25 health is a big deal. Okay, Princess Power, 1 cooldown. Discover an enemy ability. Cast 12 unique abilities this game to transform into what I'm capable of. So casting 12 unique abilities seems hard, but if you're using 3 different mercs, I'm hoping this is going to decrease. Yeah, of course it will. This will decrease if it's on the bench. So if you're using this as a bench merc and you're using stuff that, obviously there's a lot of mercenaries now, especially in this drop, that is gaining different abilities. It's not just going to be the first ability doing stuff and then you're just spamming the same ability. So doing the 12 unique abilities actually seems viable. So let's see what I'm capable of does. So it's cast 5 random abilities you cast this game at an enemy if possible. So 5 random abilities. The only thing that's going to be a downfall here is healing. If you haven't healed during the game and you're only casting stuff that does stuff to your opponent, 5 random abilities seems fun. This is like a mini Yogg. Casting 5, well, kind of even the same Yogg, you know, it's like we're not sure the speed on this, but casting 5 random abilities you cast this game is pretty fun. This is going to be a very me type transform with what I'm capable of. That'd be nice. I love that stuff. So we got Cloak of Shadows, Yoink and Moonlight Resolve transform permanently. Their initial effects are improved by 6. So improved by 6, so Moonlight will heal for 31 and deal 21 damage with that. And it permanently keeps the ability that it stole. So instead of going back to Yoink or going back to Moonlight after you've cast it, this will permanently keep it, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You know, you can get a really good one and just it change the way the match goes, or it could be a really bad thing and get a useless one that you're not going to use anymore. So very nice to see that the permanent is an option. Next up, we have Steed Feed Conviction. We got passive +4/+8. After this deals damage to a merc, gain roll advantage. So this will not get crit by the merc you're hitting. Basically, you're going to passive deal damage to something and then gain roll advantage. So if you're hitting into a caster, you'll be a fighter, so that the caster can't do crit damage to you as a protector. Interesting. Tools of the trade. Start a game, transform Yoink and Moonlight Resolve into random single-use enemy abilities and gain 15 health. Okay, so this is already going to transform your two abilities into the last ability that they're going to use, which you would never know, so it's just going to be random, and the first ability so this is just going to be completely two random abilities every single game. So this is going to be different every time with Tools of the Trade. That is fun. That is going to be so fun. I think this, because it's a very memey type mercenary, that's why the stats are so big. But it doesn't actually attack itself. So if you're transforming into stuff, that's when you're going to want to use it to attack. So if you say, if this transforms into a Leroy 0 speed, for example, and you're gaining attack and smacking into stuff with 16 attack, that seems pretty cool. Okay, so next we have Gen Greymane, Epic Protector, Human. Max stats are 1289, and his abilities are Blistering Bullet. We have Fire, Speed 2, deal 12 damage, transform into a Worgen. Okay, so this one here, like I said earlier, with the abilities being not just the 3, it's actually going to have a lot more abilities because of the Worgen has different abilities as well, so we'll check them out in a second. Ability 2, we have Spacemaker, Fire, Speed 6, deal 18 damage, gain 3 attack. So the 3 attack gaining, scaling is always good in Mercenaries. This is obviously a Speed 6, same as Jaina's, +3 spell damage. So seeing that scale is going to be nice. It's dealing 18 damage and not attacking as a protector, so that's pretty decent. Quite a standard ability, to be honest. Next we have Beastly Beauty, so Speed 4, cooldown 1. And that is a 15/20 human with Taunt. Battlecry give your other humans and Worgens +4/+6. So this is actually a summon. So you summon a Taunt in the way at speed 4, which is okay, not great. But then given your humans and Worgens, which is going to be this no matter what, an extra stat buff, could be pretty decent. So before we go into the equipment, I'll have a look at what the Worgen does. So we have Moonlight Strike, which is deal damage equal to this merc's attack and then transform into a human. So we're transforming backwards and forwards between Worgen and human. This is dealing attack equal to his attack, so getting any sort of buff. So from that third ability I just read with the giving the humans and Worgens +4/+6, plus the scaling of the second ability Spacemaker is going to really help with this guy dealing damage with his attack. So that's pretty good. And then we have Ankle Berserker, attack an enemy. It's 5 speed slower, while this is a human. So this is what? I think this is speed 6 I've seen. So it's 5 speed slower. So that's going to be horrendously slow when it's a human. So this is basically just a Worgen ability that we're going to be using. And then we have Beautiful Beast, which is a 4 speed cooldown. Summon a 2015 Worgen, so the stats change and the minion that comes out changes. This has Charge instead of Taunt. Battlecry give your humans and Worgens +6/+4, so instead of the +4/+6. So it just swaps everything around, summons a werewolf instead of the human, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the equipment. So we have Blood Moon. So Battlecry, gain +7 attack, transform into Gen's other form. So this is going to go straight into a Worgen with an additional 7 attack. And then you can use the Moonlight Strike. So this is going to be 19, dealing 19 damage and then transform into a human. And then that's when you can use your human abilities. Kind of good synergies there. Nice little turn by turn stuff that you can do that people will eventually learn and be able to play around, I would have thought. Then we have Smooth Transition. transformation, sorry. So at the end of the turn, transform into Gen's other form and gain 8 health. So once again, this is going to transform you into a Worgen and give you additional health instead of attack. So unless there's a way of becoming the Worgen form first. The Worgen, by the way, is a fighter, which is very cool because the human is a protector. So depending on what you're going to want to kill, if you want to kill casters, you're going to want to stay Worgen. If you want to kill fighters, you're going to want to stay human. So it's very good that it actually changes the role as well when it transforms instead of just keeping a protector. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of bugs in this patch because there is a lot of stuff going on, so bear in mind that when you're starting to try stuff out and it might not work. Please post anything that you find so that we all know in the community. Do it on the Discord if you can. After one of your characters casts an even speed ability, restore 10 health. So this is going back to Gen back in standard when he was, you can only run him if your deck had only even costs. So this is going to be pretty cool that you can restore your team if you're only using even cost abilities. That means all of his is even, so it's 2, 6, 4, and then yeah, I imagine these are the same speed but as a Worgen or shuffled. But yeah, they're all even, so you're going to heal 10 every time he uses an ability, and if you're using any other even abilities as well. So very nice different take on a mercenary here. I quite like this one. Being able to change between a protector and a fighter, and being able to change from a human to a Worgen. Obviously it's going to get the tagline Worgen when it's a Worgen instead of the human. And I think this is definitely the first one we've got. So hopefully they bring out a couple of more and do the same sort of stuff with it. Okay, and next we have Arana Starseeker, a rare caster night elf, 981 max stats, and the abilities are Edge Cancel, Speed 6, gain 7 attack this turn and attack an enemy. So that's going to go to 16 attack an enemy. If it has less attack, return this to the bench. So is that if the enemy has less attack, return this to the bench, or if we have less attack? I imagine it'd be if they have less attack, return this to the bench. So that's a hit retreat kind of ability depending on what you're going to hit. So if you want to keep this out, you're not going to want to target something with less attack than 16, which is going to be quite a lot of stuff unless they go quicker, because this is speed 6. This is quite a slow ability anyway, so more than likely it will have probably more attack. Next we have Feldrick Intonement. So we have speed 9 Fel ability, deal 22 damage to an enemy, set its attack to 0 until next turn. Until next turn. That sucks at 9 speed, so why would you set the attack to 0 until next turn when this is going to be the very last ability used? You need to be able to speed this up for this to be good. Setting it to 0 is insane, but at 9 speed it's bad. Okay, next we have Acrobatics. So we got 2 speed, 1 cooldown, deal 10 damage to an enemy and swap it with an ally across from it. Enemy abilities target this merc, swaps targets if possible. It's kind of like a Longzin type thing where you can swap something and heal. They all target Longzin. This does it, but to say you're attacking something to the left and this is in the middle, it's going to swap places with your left mercenary. So this won't be in the middle no more. It will swap with that, and then whatever is going to target that merc will then target this. So kind of good to protect something, kind of difficult to read that. Being able to do that, 2 speed cooldown, it's going to be good to protect something, but very hard to find a place to use that. You'd rather just use the Longzin version where it actually does damage once it gets hit, whereas this doesn't. Okay, and then as of the equipments, we have Unbreakable Backpack, Battlecry, gain +2 Fel, Arcane and Nature damage, +1 more for each other Night Elf and Demon. So this can fit into a Demon deck and gain loads of Fel, Arcane and Nature. It can go into a Night Elf deck and do the same thing. I'm not sure what Night Elves we actually have in the game at the moment. I don't really read the tags of the tribes, sorry. So it's going to be interesting to see what that fits into. We've got Limbrick Pantometer, which is passive. Enemies across from this have -8 attack. Very good for Trigor. Very good for 2 enemies if you've managed to kill one of theirs off and you've got this in the middle targeting 2 units. That'd be very good. unless you're using something with taunt to make their attacks do obviously next to nothing and still keeping this alive so that their attacks are still low. I can't see this being too good other than using this unbreakable backpack, which is just increased spell damage, which is a lot better to that one. Depending on what the meta is, if it's attacking mercs, then obviously this is going to be pretty good. And then we have Glaveland, which is Battle Cry, gain 5 health and roll advantage against this merc's current roll. Okay, so gain 5 attack and roll advantage against this merc's current roll. So if you're going up against something, you're going to gain roll advantage no matter what. And that is that if they attack you or you attack them. Maybe both, I'm not sure. We'll have to playtest that. Okay, and that about wraps it up for this episode of Patch Notes. So Patch Notes 22.4. We have some very interesting mercs coming out later on today. 6 o'clock my time, which is in about 7.5 hours now, or 6.5 hours. So yeah, very looking forward to farming these mercs and getting these mercs PvP ready. There's going to be a lot of YouTube content around these mercenaries, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. I will try and focus on one immediately so that I can get a video out for tomorrow. So hopefully that will go down well. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Patch Notes, and I will see you in the next video.